Hey guys, welcome to Unravel with Nokuthula Khwela. So I'm back with Reg today. Hey Reg.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
So I'm recollecting my memory and I'm thinking of the relationship that I've had with
Mm,
money. So for me, money was an end all. Like money controlled me. Like when I'm broke, I'm really sad. When I have money, I'm on top of the world. And I was that type of person that, like you can't chill with because now I'm controlled by this thing that has no value. So in
mm.
today's episode, I want us to discuss whether does money bring happiness? Does money create happiness? What does money mean to you?
Well, it means different things, and I must say that amongst South African youth, it will mean quite a lot of things because we are one of the countries that actually are in a lot of destitute. So a lot of the time,
Yeah.
therefore, money means addressing the lack that people are actually experiencing at home, lack of material things, lack of experiences, and just lack of self-expression or definition of their own sense of happiness.
Mm, mm.
Mm, mm,
Speaking of lag, actually, I just come to realize something. When you come from a place of lag,
mm,
like
mm,
when you like remove yourself from it, you
mm,
buy something new. There's something etic when like I'm not worthy of wearing this because it's expensive. Please
mm.
explain that psychologically. What does that even mean?
Isn't it that when you grow up, there is a sense of identity with regard to our sense of deserving? So
Okay.
normally we attach our worth to certain things. It can be certain kind of expenditures. If you, for
Yeah.
instance, are from a lower class, something like a Converse All Star, it's good enough, right? Whereas if
Okay.
you actually in coming from an upper class, something
Yeah.
like Louis Vuitton will be good enough. So now, when you are
Good.
coming from a lower class but wearing a Louis Vuitton, there's that distrainment in you that you will feel often that I'm not deserving of this. But then it has to come from a point of knowing your social status vis-a-vis your
Mhm.
affordability.
Yeah. I get you. You just got me thinking of you see these people that for example elokishini ne like
Mm,
you find a shack and
mm,
it's got the satellites, yeah,
mm,
DSTV.
mm,
Like
mm.
is that a shift in priorities or what does that I fail to understand that, like what does it signify?
I think normally when you go to guys, something like a DSTV used to be like a thing. Like Nasema
Yeah.
Kaya, when you go to the rurals, if the house doesn't have a dish outside, that huge dish,
Mm,
it actually means that they are not affording enough. Now we have different styles of houses that they build in the rural areas, a scotch roof. It's a
okay.
definition of some sorts of affordability, but you have to understand that these are subjectives. If you go
Yeah.
to places like the sense of affording and richness is subjective amongst people. If you go to places like Santin, you will learn that they will define things, a behavior of some sort, the mannerism
Okay.
of talking, how you contain yourself, the kind of cars you drive, and the perfume you wear. By just the virtue of walking in Santon Mall, you are able to actually smell the person who's literally coming from a well-off background.
But
So,
I actually I deny that. I deny
mm,
that. There's certain people that live by the mantra fake it till you make it. They will come to you looking like money, but
mm,
you find that their reality is lack.
mm. Granted, but then there's perfumes that do not make the cut. For instance, I wear Dior Savage. It's 2.2
Okay.
thousand, right? But there's a
Okay.
perfume that costs 27,000. It's a distinct scent.
Ooh. Ooh.
So you
Okay.
can't
Okay.
fake that. You can't fake that. So
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
the virtue
So
of someone passing, I'm able
Yeah.
to tell that this is one of those perfumes. And when you check, the perfume goes with the kind of attire they're wearing. So it's normally,
Garment. Yeah.
actually, it's normally the same thing with regard to police, right? When they actually profile a criminal, they're able to see that the car you're driving is not worth your look. You see a guy passing by with a Mercedes Benz, but he looks like very,
Yeah.
very like ashy. You are able to say, just stop, let's talk about this car. And you find
But
that
you classing a person now.
it's
Are
not
you not classing the person?
granted, but then our sense of self do class itself.
Yeah.
It's not even
Ooh.
classism. It's not classism.
Yeah.
You are able to see a person who is from a particular kind of background, from Saint the mannerism of talking. Hence, you will hear what kind of university a person is coming from the articulation. It's just the reality of how we make ourselves.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. I get you. I get you. So
Hmm.
so what is the connection between money and happiness?
I do not think that happiness is something that you can attain in this life. Previously, happiness
Really?
was it's just moments of glory and joy. It's not happiness.
Wow.
Happiness is
That's
a
an interesting
state.
way to put it.
Happiness is
A state of mind.
a state of mind.
Okay.
So you cannot
Okay.
literally fully establish that. It is impossible. But people have, to some extent, tried to attain that in this world.
Okay.
And you can't
Okay.
buy happiness. You can't buy a state of mind. You can medicate it by these experiences
Okay.
where people are taken to Dubai and stuff. But you
Yeah.
take them to Dubai when they are showering or alone in the bed, they realize that they are just that sad person who happens to be in Dubai at the moment.
Yeah.
It's a state
And
that
there's
it's a state that
I
you
think
have to get yourself, not somebody else.
that's true. That's true.
Mm,
Not
mm,
somebody else or not any material possession. But I
mm.
feel as though happiness is excitement. Like, for example, I could set a goal and I achieve it and I feel some type of way. And then it weighs down. And then something comes up that I feel is momentous and then it brings me up. So it's an equilibrium of some sort, I feel.
It's going to be granted. It's going to be accumulation of few things. Like
Yeah.
if we're talking about happiness as a state of mind, you are able to be happy for the rest of your life if you understand
Okay.
what that state is. Joy is
Okay.
it's literally a fluctuation of excitement, right? You
Okay.
achieve, you go up, then you come down. It's a reminder that that state is there.
It's not
That's
permanent.
it's not permanent, but when happiness can be able to be literally permanent, right?
Okay.
So what happens is that when you're happy, you literally feel that state of complete and fulfillment,
Okay.
right? It's not something that one can bring through material things.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
literally something that you yourself get yourself in the state.
Yeah. But
Mhm.
that's actually funny because I actually had an interaction with my friends on Facebook and I asked them a question, Uguti, does money bring happiness? And a lot of people were like, yes, it does. And I feel as though they answered that way because they haven't probably reached that level in terms of desire for
Mm,
them to
mm,
answer that.
mm,
Because and someone had said, Uguti, I'd rather be depressed, gibe nemali than
mm,
be depressed, gibe in a shack.
mm,
I feel like there's certain things that money cannot fill in you
mm,
as a
mm,
person. Like you look at the likes of your Whitney Houston,
mm.
your Mac Miller, they overdosed. Those people had
Literally.
millions.
Mm. I worked at a psychiatric
So
hospital. I worked at a
yeah,
psychiatric hospital before, and I'm talking, having spoken to people who are well off, people who can literally buy you.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
still we're not feeling that state, right?
Yeah.
But then I do understand someone who has never had that muchness of money. So you're
Okay.
wanting it and you think it will fill you or fulfill you. It's impossible.
Yeah.
But because you haven't
Yeah.
experienced that, you would think that maybe where you, I mean, I've actually went to places where people are living in abject poverty, but they were the
Okay.
happiest, right?
Yeah.
Then
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I met people who were very, very wealthy, but they were the saddest. How do you therefore determine? You
Mm.
understand? It's a state because if you're able to say in any social background,
Yeah.
able to be comfortable and literally in connection with whatever you're doing, you're likely to be. Kids who are in the rural areas don't even see themselves as poor. You just
No,
show
not
them
at
on the
all.
news and say they are poor. They're like, no, man, this is our life. But what happens
Mm.
today in South Africa, if you look around? We
Yeah.
are the third world country with first world problems. We still try to compare us with Dubai, right?
Yeah.
We still try
Yeah.
to compare us with the well marketed the United States cities. And here we are still fighting for data, fighting for electricity. So we constantly
But
become sad because we want to attain that of which is unattainable and even not true to some extent.
yeah. But
Mm,
don't you think that is caused by the lifestyle that we chase? Like I recently stumbled across a video of, I'm not sure if you know Umamkize
mm,
and
mm,
Usomizi. They
mm,
had like luggages of Louis Vuitton. They
mm,
had Louis Vuitton from bottom to top,
mm.
and I just didn't understand. But don't you think such that mentality is created by those type of lifestyles, because now they've created desire in people. Like people are going to do the most to obtain those LV bags. I mean, we're entering
Yeah,
level 3 of
yeah, yeah,
lockdown,
yeah.
and
But remember
yeah.
one thing. Remember one thing. Let's talk about identity, right? From a point of birth, when you buy a young
Yeah.
child a toy, right? They identify
Yeah.
with that toy. Initially,
Okay.
they start playing with that toy without a relationship. But when they now have a relationship with the toy, toy yaga Nokuthula, right? Now, when you
Yeah.
break the toy, the child is likely to cry because
Absolutely.
they now have that identity with the toy. Ngoba mawi puga ingati you broke a part of them, right?
Our hearts. Yeah.
Exactly. Now we're taking that into this accumulation of material things. Louis Vuitton is in
Okay.
business, right? If he decide to sponsor Usomizi, ngoba Usomizi is everywhere, he knows Somizi will do marketing for him, right?
Of
So,
course.
so what
Yeah.
happens now is that Somizi shows it off, and everyone is getting nuts, and they are going to buy. It's free marketing.
Yeah.
Hence,
Yeah.
hence, hence, I'm saying that you got to be free enough to distance yourself and be able to understand that Louis Vuitton is Louis Vuitton for what it is. It has nothing
Absolutely.
in relation to you as Usomizu or Nokuthula. Accumulation of
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
won't fulfill you or make you any better of a person. It just makes you that person who happened to be wearing Louis Vuitton.
True.
If you
Amongst
were
many people.
if you were a sad person, you are still the very same sad
Yeah.
person who is wearing Louis Vuitton. It doesn't go
That's
away.
painful.
Mm, mm, mm,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
mm,
And I'm actually thinking how Imali, I feel like it operates in terms of the law of attraction. Like
mm.
money has to be attracted to you in order for you to attain it.
But tell me, why
Yeah.
do you chase money? Why is it?
The reason no,
Mm,
the reason why I began this episode by speaking of my relationship with money then is because I feel like I have drifted from that person I did not understand, and I feel like the more I chased it, the more
It ran
became
away.
stressful, and I wasn't Nokuthula, like I wasn't happy inside. And for me, it's important for me to have peace. So I've come to realize, Uguti, you don't get the amount of money that you want when you chase it. It has to chase you.
Listen,
Yeah,
that of which you seek seeks you, right?
absolutely.
If you
Absolutely, yeah.
seek affirmation from things, you will get affirmation from things. But if you seek internal and eternal happiness, you will get that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
With the law of attraction, um, uh, one thing that you have to understand, we all are destined for greatness,
yeah.
right? We all have been given enough pie to devour and enjoy. But now looking at somebody's pie and ignoring that
Distraction.
distraction, ignoring
Yeah,
that pie in front of you just makes you distracted. And now the money that was put in you by the universe to attain it, you'll
yeah.
never, because you're looking at that person, right? If you are Unokuthula or Usomizu who's supposed to start his own label and you're busy wearing
Yeah,
Louis Vuitton, so there's
yeah.
this confusion of identity, right? You are a walking brand. Maybe understand that. You'll start respecting
Mm,
yourself better.
yourself. Absolutely, yeah.
Because when
Absolutely.
Louis Vuitton is branding a particular kind of design and you're wearing it
Yeah,
feeling proud, you are a lost person because you're not Louis
absolutely.
Vuitton, right? If you're wearing Jordans and you're feeling like you're a complete human being, I look at you like, how sad of you.
You
How
sound
sad
like
of you.
Kanye. You got me thinking of, you see Herbalife, the badge, ne? That round thing that they wear. That thing stresses me actually, like, because I feel like you wearing someone else. Like, who are you? Like, people are gonna shift their attention to that badge.
I was actually about to say to post something about Herbalife, and I was about to say
Yeah,
the pyramid schemes are there, right? We had Treble M, remember? We had
yeah,
Forever Living. We had Long Reach, pyramid schemes,
yeah,
right? And they never
yeah.
benefit any black person. Anything that a lot of black people flock towards, don't even try to attend to that.
Yeah,
Because
bigger.
there's a lot of confusion that's going there because black people do
Yeah.
free marketing most of the time. That's why
Mm-hmm.
Herbalife is so well marketed. Have you ever seen it on the news or somewhere when they say drink Herbalife?
Never. Not
No,
even a magazine. No.
it's Dakis. Dakis will market it in the name of fitness, and it's for free. They do it for
Fitness,
free
fitness.
in the name of
Yeah,
fitness.
it's free marketing.
And
As you
by
said, yeah.
exactly, but then a confusion again around money because everyone wants to get money. Every black
Mm.
person, we are coming from such poor background that we don't want to stay there anymore. But
And we want a shortcut. We want a shortcut.
exactly, the reality of it all is that
Yeah,
with lack, there's a lot of space for you to attain if you understand what that lack is about.
yeah, yeah,
God has never punished you by actually, you were not born in a poor family. You were born through a poor family. Just like Moses, who was
wow.
born from a slave family, to be able to
Yeah,
actually,
great for some.
to be actually be able to connect with the slave from a body level and
Yeah,
later was brought up by a queen's daughter, right? And now he had to
yeah,
be able to go back and free the slaves. But now, when you're looking at
yeah.
yourself like you are a discounted version of creation or yourself
Mm-hmm.
because you are born through a poor family, unfortunately,
Poor family.
the universe meets you at the level you submit yourself. If you
Totally
think
agree. Totally agree.
literally,
Totally agree. And I feel like today I said you need to not forget where you come from, but add that. you must not let that hold you, because there's some people that will come to you and be like, oh, Nokuthula has high standards, but she comes from Phoenix. That's nonsense. That is nonsense.
You came through Phoenix. You belong. If you understand that
Yeah.
you belong to the globe. Then even achievement, even structuring your career, it won't be limited to South Africa. You will start writing
Absolutely.
on an exponential level. But the problem is that if you
Yeah.
think that you are from Mtanzano or Port Shepstone, and you belong
Yeah.
there, you will get a job there and work there and die there. And that's it.
Mm-hmm. That's
That's it.
tragic.
Literally, no, no, the
I think
thing,
that's tragic.
we have limited mindset. When Black Coffee goes global, we start getting all emotional. But listen, you got to understand that you belong to the globe. What makes you think that you
Absolutely.
have any relationship with South Africa?
Yeah.
You are just
The
passing
world is
through.
oyster.
You're
Yeah.
you're just passing through.
Hmm. I totally agree. I feel like we tend to place limitations upon ourselves, and that's where it begins.
Mhm.
Like there's some people that are actually afraid to dream. They're just like, yo, that dream is too much for me. I don't think I can get there. And I feel like lack has a major role to play in that mindset. Like poverty is a state of mind.
It's a state of mind. You're right. It's not actually. It has nothing to do with the food.
Mm,
It's a state of mind. A lot of people
yeah,
who
yeah,
actually, if you have a lot of people who are coming from destitute background have the most strongest mindset ever.
absolutely. And you sort of get intimidated by their
Mm,
level of confidence.
yeah,
Kanti, that's how you should be.
exactly. But then now we do not have a proper sense of deserving. We think that
Ish.
somebody has to come and rescue us with money. Sugar daddy is the same lost guy who is insecure, who just happened to have a lot of money. And he's
Mm-hmm,
gonna he's
mm-hmm.
gonna do things, then sleep with you, and you guys are fine. And
Like she
unfortunately, he
is.
still becomes that very sad person, an insecure person now who has just slept with you. So it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
accumulation of soul. He's accumulating
True.
the souls, right? Then you,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
your own confusion around your own sense of deserving. You know, when there's nothing so disappointing than when a person says, I love money. I'm like, this is depressing. This is depressing because had you understood that you are made for a tantamount amount of money, you just have to shift your mindset. Manja, when you invest, a lot
Absolutely.
of the time ladies do that and they invest all their selves in a guy because he gives them money. They give up dreams
In
and they
man.
do. And I'm like,
Mm,
girl, that's gonna be a short-lived excitement because guy
yeah.
won't be able to sponsor you forever. There will be
For
another.
life. No,
There will be another one with peckier things.
of course.
Who
Younger even.
literally, everyone wants new
Yeah.
things.
And yeah. And I think that's a shame, because we are all sent to school to liberate ourselves, like to be independent. But now when you study to say it's okay, when I'm done, I'm going to become someone's wife. I don't want to work. I want a man that's gonna look after me. And if we had to go to university now, there's quite a few females with that mindset.
The very same females and the very same student who think that by going to university, somebody has to employ you. That is the most disappointing thing because education hasn't done its work in you. In actual
No,
fact,
absolutely not.
it has just made you a readily available slave, waiting to be
It,
enslaved.
it has brainwashed you
Exactly.
to a certain extent. Yeah,
Education doesn't free you from yourself, or that doesn't make you into the free person who can create. It's useless. It is
yeah,
useless. A lot of the time, I know, even, the idea of lack amongst black people, it's one that is very critical because We choose degrees because of the hunger we have. We choose partners because of the hunger we have. We literally
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we never live a true life. From partner choices to degrees to work to we are so hungry that we are not real with anyone. Any
Mm,
conversation
mm.
you have with a person, you're always thinking, what can I get from this person?
What am I gonna get? Oh, yes. Yeah.
So we're not
No, that
real.
is so
Even now, when you're doing this podcast and this conversation, a lot of people will say, but when are you going to make money? I'm like, have you ever cared about just disseminating knowledge that can better someone who is in trouble at the moment? The universe will literally pay you. Don't worry about money.
absolutely, absolutely. I don't think it's something that shouldn't consume our thoughts as much as we make it consume it. And it's funny because we go to school and then we finish and we focus on ourselves. Like we don't want to give back. Like uthola ukuthi you interested in a podcast and you want to talk about something and I think a lot of people think ukuthi in order for you to make a difference, you have to do something for someone. You can just talk to someone and change their entire life. So it's things like that.
Literally, I think this is where I'm saying to you that we're actually very interested in getting something from somebody, even our jobs. I mean, and if you go to a workplace where people are just in it for the money, the treatment will be the worst you could ever imagine.
And
Because
they are miserable.
exactly, because they just want to get money. They are there to push their 8 hours and get money. But
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
I was working at a psychiatric hospital, I was by far one of their best employee because I connected
Okay.
with people from a human level. You understand these people are here
Yeah.
because they're in pain, right?
Of
And
course.
you
Yeah.
literally it didn't matter they were white or black. When someone is in
Yeah.
pain, you connect on a human level. Now we're coming back to ladies and men.
Yeah.
The very same thing that other person is chasing is what you're chasing. Love and happiness.
Mm, mm-hmm.
The very
Mm-hmm.
same thing you wish for is what they wish for. I think you just have to
As
step
well.
back and be kind with people. Literally. It's okay
I think
some
so. And it takes nothing from you. It
it's
takes absolutely nothing.
literally. But then
Yeah.
we remember we are having this mindset that I want to get something from this person. It's either it's gonna be sexual intercourse or it's gonna be money.
Yeah.
So it's a
Money.
transaction. It's a transaction
Ish.
because now when we get into clubs, because level on Monday it will be alcohol, everything will be open, right? When we get into it's very
Yeah.
sad. And what depresses me or what saddens me is that we are the only race and a generation that doesn't have a sense of direction in the world.
Mm, mm,
In the
mm,
world, black people,
mm.
black
I
people,
mean, look at what's happening in America right now.
exactly. So now when we're coming
Yeah.
back to South Africa, we still try to mimic the American life. Tell me about guys who have actually met and sat down and achieved something. If you want to show me strength, pick one woman,
Yeah.
love her enough for her to be the best sense of herself. Pick another man,
Yeah.
motivate him into being the best version of himself, right? If you want
Yeah.
to show me strength,
Yeah.
take the money you have, spend it on actually making someone discover their fullest potential. But no, it's not
Agreed.
gonna
Yeah.
happen because we're such sexual beings recently and we so charged with getting stuff from people. It's transactional relationship.
Literally.
It's
So
tra-
we have reduced the human experience to transactions.
it's gone. Namanje,
Wow.
when your friends, I heard that friendship between certain ladies ended because they couldn't afford to be their friends. When they were going out, she always said, "I don't have money," and literally she didn't have money. But the friendship
Kuyenzeka
ended.
leyo. It happens. It happens. It
And
happens. Where you're
and
just like, we can't afford to do lunch together, so I stopped being friends with her.
exactly.
Yeah,
But have
yeah.
you realized that by feeding her, you have not only fed her, you have fed her her offspring and her family, because when she's not hungry, she's gonna work and literally provide to her family.
Wow,
It's just not
wow.
her who's involved in that energy. Either you like it or not, you're directly or indirectly involved in someone's life.
True, true,
Mhm.
true. That's very true.
Mm,
No, I totally agree.
mm.
Reggie, you are amazing. Thank you for doing this podcast again.
Proper
That is
problem.
it from today's episode. Thank you.
Shall be seen. Man say.
Yes.